Chinese stock markets have just opened for trade. Paul is here to tell us what's happening in Hong Kong. We're seeing gains today. What about investor sentiment, Paul?
Well, Susan, we're 45 minutes in at the moment, so let's take a look at the Shanghai Composite, how it's doing right now. Up about 0.75%. That's after opening lower, so a bit of a recovery. This also follows almost 5% jump in the benchmark yesterday, which was the biggest in 6 months. Now, Shanghai stocks rose for the first 3 days in September, though the benchmark, of course, slumped in August. 22%. That was the biggest decline in the world, and that kind of volatility makes some investors nervous.
I would never deploy my capital into the Chinese market. If I'm looking to invest in China, I would do it with securities listed here in the U.S. It certainly is frothy. They just had an IPO that went off at 60 times earnings. I would much rather, there's not a lot of opportunity there to make money. It's not going to go to 120 or 150. You can buy Chinese companies listed here in the U.S. at a PE of 10, 15.
Well, maybe PEs will go to 120, 150. This is China. Normal rules don't apply. Still, today we are seeing particular gains in the gold stocks. They're the most active today. Gold rising to within a whisker of $1,000 an ounce in New York. Here are the gains. Shandong up 8%, Zhongjin 6%, Fujian Shijin up more than 4%. Susan.
All right. Well, tell me about Shanghai Interactive, Paul, because after the market close in the U.S., it came out with some surprising news in that they're going to spin off their pretty profitable online games unit.
That's right, a way of raising capital to expand. Shanghai Interactive filing for an $800 million IPO of its online games unit. The stock trading on NASDAQ under the ticker GAME, G-A-M-E. Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase, the underwriters. Researcher International Data Corporation says China has just over 49 million online game players as of last year. They spent combined $2.7 billion. Now, that's good for companies like Shandar. It says profit last quarter rose 53% to $63 million. And its stock, though it has slid in the last couple of months, is up 57% year to date. Susan.
It is a nation of gamers. Thank you for that, Paul Gordon, with the latest on the Chinese markets.